I'm from a company called M.C.C. M.C.C is the UK's leading fibromyalgia holistic company. We make a range of products that help with managing your symptoms, that make life more bearable. So if you're watching this and you don't actually suffer from fibromyalgia yourself, let me just tell you a little bit about it. So what actually is fibromyalgia? Well, it's believed that there's between 1.5 and 2 million people in the UK suffering from fibromyalgia. No one seems to know exactly what causes fibromyalgia, and the symptoms can vary dramatically from person to person. But most commonly, they include widespread pain, fatigue, and sleep issues. Fibromyalgia seems to affect people of all ages, but mostly these are people aged between 30 to 50 years old, and women seem to be more likely to develop the condition compared with men, although men do suffer from fibromyalgia as well. So what are the most common symptoms that you get then with fibromyalgia? Because there are a whole host of them. So I'm going to rattle some of them off, but this list isn't all encompassing. There are ones that I won't mention just because I would be here forever. The list is huge. So your most common symptoms then are something which is called fibrofog, and this affects your brain and your cognitive issues. It affects the way that you think. You struggle to find words. I have fibromyalgia myself, so during this, if I seem to be doing that, that's why. It's because I have fibromyalgia. You can have noise sensitivity, so just background noise that wouldn't bother other people. Mine in particular seems to be if somebody's computer gaming. That really, really gets to me. And it actually translates into pain, and I get pain across my face, into my ears, down my neck, and it can make me feel quite poorly. Depression's very common with fibromyalgia as well. That kind of goes without saying when you're battling all of these issues and the chemical imbalances that come with them as well. It's quite easy to understand why depression is quite a common symptom and usually found right across the board, and something that is usually treated as well very, very early on when somebody's diagnosed with fibromyalgia. You get numbness and tingling sensations, burning sensations, cramps, sharp stabbing pains. It's almost like somebody's got a voodoo doll of you. One moment you can have a really bad pain in your shoulder, and then half an hour later you can have a really bad pain in your foot. When I say really bad pain, I mean pain to the extent that you can't move that part of your body without it being excruciating. There's something called allodynia, where you feel pain from something that you shouldn't feel pain from, so such as just like a very light touch, or your clothing touching you. Hyperalgesia, where you're really sensitive to pain, so the smallest amount of pain can really seem like a huge amount of pain. Getting a splinter can feel like you've had your finger chopped off. So just like how your body translates the message of pain to your brain, it comes completely scrambled. Fatigue is awful. Somebody could tell you that the winning lottery numbers are painted on your front doorstep, and you'll be like, do you know what? I'm not even bothered. I don't want to win the lottery. It makes your body feel like it's been turned to stone, and fatigue for me is probably one of the worst symptoms. Headaches, light sensitivity, costochondritis. If you've not heard of that, that's inflammation of the cartilage around your ribs, and that's extremely painful and can mimic a heart attack. Anxiety, irritable bowel syndrome, skin rashes, pins and needles, poor sleep quality, and insomnia. They go hand in hand and make it very difficult for you to deal with the rest of these symptoms as well. Constipation, diarrhea, joint stiffness, nausea, restless leg syndrome. The list goes on and on and on and on. There is a comprehensive list on the NHS website, and they also list on there some factors that may contribute to the onset of fibromyalgia. One of the most common ones, underlying factors, does seem to be stress. This can be anything from the result of an illness, surgery, bereavement, emotional upset, periods of sort of like mental health problems. If you go on to www.nhs.uk /conditions/fibromyalgia. There's a host of information on there for you as well. Now, traditionally, fibromyalgia and its symptoms are managed by your GP with a range of pain relief, antidepressants, and anti-inflammatory medications are two of the top ways that they actually treat it. And that's done with varying degrees of success, although many sufferers report that they still find the pain exceptionally unbearable and difficult to manage. And during a flare-up of the condition, and you'll quite often hear people with fibromyalgia refer to when their symptoms are really bad, calling it a flare. But when you're flaring with the condition, it can actually confine you to bed for from anywhere from hours to days to weeks to months at a time. The more and more people now are turning to a more natural and holistic way to manage their fibromyalgia as they become more aware of the long-lasting effects of pharmaceuticals and the opiates, especially, how they affect your body. And here at M.C.C, like I said, we are the UK's leading holistic company specialising in fibromyalgia. We've got a vast range of essential oil-based products that really have helped hundreds and hundreds of sufferers battle their condition and actually manage to either drop down with the amount of medication that they're taking or completely remove their medications altogether. So we would only recommend that you ever do that with your GP's involvement and with their consent and with their supervision. But there are 5 products in particular that we would recommend to help you deal with your fibromyalgia. So these products, my partner Mark is a research and development scientist. When we met 3 years ago, and he realized the amount of medication that I was taking, he was absolutely horrified and really quite concerned about the effects that they would be having on my body. So he set about making me a range of products that would help me combat my symptoms and help me reduce the amount of medication that I was taking. And the very first one that he made me was this wonderful product called Sleepyhead. So Sleepyhead is just a fantastic oil for helping you drift off into a gorgeous, restful sleep. And sleep was one of my biggest issues. And out of all of my fibromyalgia symptoms, along with the pain, is still the one that I battle the most. You find that when you don't sleep, you just go down in this downward spiral, and the next day is just so difficult to cope with. So you can't cope with your pain because you're so tired, and this just has a knock-on effect throughout the day. And by the time it gets to bedtime, you're exhausted. You don't sleep again, so the next day is even worse, and you just continue down and down and down and down, and it just makes life so unbearable. So Mark first came up with Sleepyhead for me. And you literally just rub it across your temples, your forehead, clavicle area, shoulders, wrists. Soles of your feet is a really good place to put it as well, believe it or not. We have lots and lots of workarounds. Our customers call themselves motor mouths, and they have fantastic ideas on how to use the products. If you jump over to our Facebook page or join our support group on Facebook, you'll find loads and loads of workarounds with the products as well. But put your Sleepyhead on literally just as you're drifting off, ready to drift off into a gorgeous sleep. Sit on the edge of the bed, bob it on, get in and just relax. No telephones. Don't be going on Facebook or looking at videos on YouTube. Don't start scrolling through Instagram or anything like that. Put your phone to one side, get into bed, close your eyes and relax, and just let Sleepyhead just take you off into a gorgeous, restful sleep. Once you've tackled your sleep, you'll find that it just makes life so much more bearable, and you can cope the next day a little bit better. But just remember, however far down this spiral that you've gone of not sleeping, you've got to stop that, start reversing it, and you're not going to feel fantastic after just one night's sleep, although you will be amazed at how much better that you do feel. You will need to catch up on your sleep, basically. So you need to reverse this spiral. But my goodness, going back up that spiral feels absolutely fantastic. The first good night's sleep I had, I woke up the next morning after 8 hours of sleep, and I didn't know who I was, where I was. I didn't know what time it was, what day it was. I just couldn't believe it. And I did manage to tackle that next day so much better. And that very first day, the very first day of me not of me sleeping properly, I didn't need as much pain relief. So I do believe that sleep really, really does play a huge part in how we manage our fibromyalgia. And your essential oils that do all the hard work in Sleepyhead, you've got rosemary, you've got lavender, you've got clary sage and peppermint, and they've all been used for centuries to help combat these issues. One word of warning, I wouldn't use Sleepyhead because of the clary sage and rosemary if you are expecting a baby, without speaking to your midwife or your GP first of all. So that was the first one that Mark made for me, was our gorgeous Sleepyhead. So once I started sleeping, what did we need to tackle then? We needed to tackle my pain. And this is when Mark came up with Pain Slayer. And Pain Slayer, without a shadow of a doubt, is our best-selling product. Now, Pain Slayer is just a gorgeous, gorgeous soft balm. And you can see it's just a really, really soft balm, and it just literally melts into your skin. And all you're going to do with that is, wherever you've got a source of pain, is just rub it on and let it soak in and let it do its magic, basically. You can enhance that by putting heat on top of it as well. So if the pain is very, very bad, then if you put a hot water bottle or one of those microwavable wheat bags on top of it, then that will help you as well. Or if you've got a heated throw, something like that, just any source of heat, and that will just help it intensify and get to work that little bit quicker. With Pain Slayer, we do that in 3 different sizes. So we've got the 30ml jar, which is fantastic size if you just want a small one to start off trying it. We've got the 60ml jar, which is our most popular size. And then we've got the 180ml size. We're struggling to keep this size in stock at the moment. It's absolutely flying out. Literally, as soon as we get them on the website, they go out within a space of a couple of hours, because once you've tried Pain Slayer, it really is the product you think, I actually don't know how I can manage without it. Pain Slayer can be applied as often as you want. So unlike your pharmaceutical medications where you're clock watching and thinking, oh crikey, I've still got another hour to go before I can take any pain relief and I'm in agony, then with Pain Slayer you can apply it as often as required. And I would actually recommend that whilst you're getting on top of your pain, that you would apply it sort of like every 20 minutes and get some heat on top of it. Once you're on top of your pain, it's a lot easier to manage it then, and then you can just use it as the pain starts rather than waiting until the pain's unbearable. You can use all of our products alongside your medication as well. So it's very complementary, but you will find that it will help bring your pain down to such a manageable level that you may well not find that you're needing to take as much pain relief as you were. So the essential oils that you've got in there that are helping you battle your pain, you've got wintergreen, which is fantastic for nerve pain. You've got eucalyptus, which is good for muscle pain. You've got clove, which is age-old pain relief. You've got juniper berry, which is good for stress and tension. You've got peppermint, which really helps with spasms and helps with muscle and joint pain. And you've got magnesium chloride in there as well, which helps with your normal cell function, and that will sort of like help your nerves and your cells in your muscles perform at their most optimum. You can hear a little pooch barking in the background. Once you get used to M.C.C, you'll get to see a lot of him. That's Bailey Boo, our little Jack Russell, who is a little bit of a diva, so he just likes to make himself heard whenever we're doing any piece to camera. So there you go. So you can manage your sleep now, and you can manage your pain. So one of our next biggest problems that we wanted to tackle for me was my fatigue. I really struggled with fatigue, and like I said, somebody could have told me that the winning lottery numbers were painted on our front doorstep, and I literally would not have had the energy to get up and go and look for them. It literally makes you feel like your body's being turned to stone. You could sleep for days, and it's not a good sleep either. So when you know, when you've got fibromyalgia, we talk about insomnia when you go into bed. You sort of like, you can't sleep all night, and then you get up the next day and you're not just tired. Everybody gets tired. You know, if everybody on a Monday morning doesn't feel like going to work sometimes, that's you kind of tired. You know, if you've been for a long walk, you'll come back and you'll feel tired, and that's normal. And I think sometimes people with fibromyalgia do get that muddled up as well, and say that they're fatigued when actually they're not, they're just tired. But it works the other way around as well. Fatigue is debilitating. It literally, you just want to sleep, but it's kind of almost like catnapping all the time. So you're not getting any benefit from this sleep whatsoever. And you need to be able to manage that. It is one of the most worst symptoms of fibromyalgia. It's just draining, soul destroying, and it's that makes your you know, your social life suffer. It's that makes you, you know, feel like you can't go to work. It really does have a huge impact on sort of like every area of your life. So that's when we came up with this little beauty, which is Revved Up. And Revved Up is just like a boost of energy in a little roller ball, and you literally just roll it onto your temples, forehead, clavicle area, wrists, even the soles of your feet, literally wherever you want to give yourself a little boost. And it literally lifts you, gives you a fantastic boost. It's very citrusy, got menthol to it, so it smells gorgeous. Now, it won't last forever. The effects will wear off, and it's designed to do that. So you can apply it throughout the day. So once it's worn off and you need another boost later on in the day, you can apply it again and you will get that boost again. It's like having a strong cup of coffee or having an energy drink, but without the sugar crashes or the come down off caffeine, and it works out a lot cheaper. So that's Revved Up, and you should always keep that one with you, because you just never know when it's going to strike for fatigue. You know, if you're out and about and you start struggling, it can be really, really difficult. So that's Revved Up. We also do it in a real refill size as well, in a 50ml bottle. But Revved Up is absolutely one of our most popular fragrances out of all the range. People absolutely love Revved Up. Then the next one is Chris's Oil, and Chris's Oil is a muscle relaxant. Mark made this for a friend of ours originally, and it wasn't ever really meant to go to market, but again, it works so very well that we couldn't keep it to ourselves. So we put it on the website. And Chris's Oil helps with things like cramping. It will help with the pain of IBS if you rub it on your tummy. It has it's proven to work so very well for a lot of our customers with restless leg syndrome, if that's something that you suffer with as well. It's just a gorgeous relaxant. Rub it on liberally on your arms, legs, your tummy, anywhere you want to, and you will just feel such a relief from it. You will just feel the tension from your muscles just melt away. The pain that you get with fibromyalgia, you can get joint pain and you can get muscle pain, and half of the battle with treating them is actually recognizing which is which and knowing how to combat them. So I would say if it's joint pain, then try and go down the pain slayer route, and if you can recognize that it's muscle pain, then go down the Chris's Oil route. But actually pain slayer will work on the muscles as well. It's just Chris's Oil will help stop that spasms that you get with it. And then last, but by no means least, and this is our newest product. So this was launched in May the 12th to be exact, which was Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. And we'd had lots of requests for this product, and we'd and we'd done quite a lot of research into it. And we just thought, you know what, yeah, let's do it. Everybody wants it, so we need to do it. And this is it. This is Headbanger, which is our headache soothing oil. And this will actually help you change the way you manage your headaches forever. It's a very powerful little oil. It's very fresh scented. It's very subtle. There's no lavender in there as well. So I know a lot of people, when they suffer with migraines, they're like, oh, no, I can't use lavender. There's no lavender in there whatsoever. You'll be pleased to hit it. Which is used in a lot of holistic sort of like headache and migraine treatments. Ours is completely lavender free. It has a huge success rate in testing, to the extent that it was 100% right across the board with all of our testers. We even have one customer who, she won't mind me telling you her story, but she'd been struggling with a migraine, was under a neurologist. She'd had this migraine from December 2018, from testing up until testing Headbanger in the April. So she'd had this migraine solidly for 4 months, and everything that the neurologist had chucked at her literally wasn't making any difference whatsoever. And she was like, well, you know, I don't mind being a tester for you, but I really don't know whether it's going to make any difference. The first time she used it, literally the first time she applied it, and again, it's in a little roller ball, so it's very easy to apply. You can just apply it to your temples, to your forehead, your temples, put it behind your ears, around the nape of your neck. If you think of just like drawing a line almost around your hairline, you can put some on your wrists. Believe it or not, putting it on your soles of your feet will help you get rid of a headache as well. And she said that for the first couple of seconds, it almost felt like this migraine intensified, and she was like, oh goodness, you know, what's happening? This could only happen to me. But with that, it kind of pulled it all to the front of her head, and she felt it just lift away. Now that she'd had this migraine for 4 months, had been in excruciating pain in bed with this migraine for 4 months, and to get relief from just applying that the very first time. So as you can imagine, that this particular customer will not be without Headbanger. She has them all around the house, everywhere she goes. She's never ever without it. And we had that kind of success right across the board. We did find some people, if they had a migraine that had come on and it had already kind of set, that they needed to use it kind of every 10 to 15 minutes and give it a little massaging as well. And it would take them a few applications to get on top of it. But right across the board, everybody said that this works quicker than taking pain relief. How good is that? And at the same time, your body is not having to deal with taking those extra painkillers as well. It just feels so uplifting when you apply it. It's got such a gorgeous, delicate fragrance, but it does give you that kind of uplifting feeling, especially as the pain sort of like disperses. In testing, I'm going to have to read this from a list because I won't remember them all. But in testing, we had success with migraine with aura, which is complicated migraine, migraine without aura, which is a common migraine, migraine with head pain, hemiplegic migraines. They actually mimic a stroke. They're very nasty, and we've had success with those as well. Retinal migraine, chronic migraine, ice pick headaches, cluster headaches, serogenic headaches, vertigo, and it also will battle the nausea that goes with those conditions as well. So it's a fantastic, mighty little product, Headbanger, and one that we're very proud of because it's helping people really manage their head pain, which can be so debilitating, and carry on with their lives. So there you go. That's the 5 main products that we would recommend that you have in your toolkit for helping you manage your fibromyalgia. They were all, apart from Headbanger, they were all originally made for myself. And I've gone from being diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2013, at my worst, being in bed for 4 days a week. I couldn't walk without crutches, to now here I am, very rarely that I have a day where I'm confined to bed. It does still happen, you know. I will never get rid of my fibromyalgia. I still have it, but you know, I just feel so much more well and so able to carry on a normal life, and having the tools to be able to deal with it, it just makes such a difference. So bob over to our website and have a look. It's www.motorbikers.cc. You can see all the products on there. We have a specific part of the website that is just for the fibro products. And any questions, the easiest place to bob and find us on Facebook and go into our support group, and we can help you with all the products on there as well. But there you go. That's all I needed to tell you today with regards to the products. Keep eyes open for more YouTube lives in the future, and we'll talk you through the rest of our range at some point. So thanks for taking the time to watch, and I will catch you all again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.